Hi guys, so I just wanted to take a look at the last question that you're going to see in the red whistle section for 15.1. It's number 6. I'm not even sure if the numbers in my problem will be exactly the same as yours. Hopefully they will be, but if not, hopefully you'll be able to just take the few examples that I'm going to show and kind of apply it to the numbers that you're given in your table. So it says the two-way table below shows the results of a survey of Florida teenagers who were asked whether they preferred surfing or snorkeling. And this is part 1 out of 4. There are 4 parts to this question, so just make sure after you do each part, you hit check and not next, because you need to complete all 4. So for number 1, it says to the right of the number in each cell, enter in the first box the relative frequency of the number compared to the total for the row the number is in. Then enter in the second box the relative frequency of each number compared to the total for the column the number is in, and round to the nearest whole number. So a lot of you would look at that and have no idea what to do. So I kind of just want to break it apart for you just to make it a little bit easier and give you a couple of examples. So let's go back to the first part. Okay, it says to the right of the number in each cell, enter in the first box the relative frequency of the number compared to the total for the row the number is in. So 2 things that are important. We're dealing with the totals of the row, and we want to make sure we round all of our percents to the nearest whole number. So let's say I wanted to do that for this first box here. All right, so notice all the numbers are already in the two-way table for you. So that's something that we did yesterday. So all those numbers are in there for you. Now we're just calculating the relative frequency, and it describes how you're setting up those fractions to get the percents. So again, we're going back and we are taking the number in that box, which in this case would be 60. 60 is the number in the box, and we are comparing it to the total for that row. So if I take a look all the way to the right, the total for that row is 144. So on my calculator, I want to take 60 divided by 144. I can either move my decimal point 2 places to the right, or I can multiply by 100, same thing. And we want to round to the nearest percent. So that's going to be approximately 42%. So that would be your answer for that box there. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say I wanted to do the same thing for this box down here. So here I would have the number in the box is 120. And I want to divide that by the total for that row, which is 240. So again, I can divide on my calculator, multiply by 100. A lot of you might realize that 120 is half of 240, so that's going to work out to be 50%. So I'm going to put that in the box. So that's how you would do all of the first boxes for each category. You would take the number in the box and divide it by the total in that row, change it to a percent. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take a look at how we're going to calculate the second box. So it says, enter in the second box the relative frequency of each number compared to the total for the column the number is in. So now I want to focus on the column totals. So if I go back to, let's say, this first box I was working in, and let's say I wanted to fill in the percentage for the second box, I know the number in that box, again, was 60. Okay, but now I want to divide it by the total for that column, which is 120. So again, a lot of you might recognize 60 is half of 120, so we're going to get 50%. Otherwise, we could divide 60 by 120, multiply by 100, and we'll get that 50% as well. All right, let's take a look at one more. Let's say I go back and just finish off that box on the bottom. So for this one, we have that number in that box is 120. And again, I want to divide that number by the total for that column. So the total for that column is 120. So when I divide that, I'm going to get 1, which is 100%. Okay, so all of your, what I have in blue, all of those blue boxes, the second box in each category, those are going to be the number in that box divided by the total for the column. So you just have to be careful with what you're dividing by. All right, so I'm hoping that these couple of examples will help you to fill out the remainder of the table if you have the same numbers, or apply them to the table that you got for number 6. And again, don't forget to check this, then answer part 2, 3, and 4, and check those as you go along so you can get full credit for this problem. All right, so hopefully you'll be okay with this. Parts 2, 3, and 4, I think you'll be fine with. But if you have any questions along the way, let me know. Not a problem. All right, hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon.